Knockback, something we all try to take less of in Minecraft PvP. But how do you really reduce your knockback? So, in this video, I'll be showing you everything about Minecraft Bedrock's knockback system so you can become unstoppable at Minecraft PvP. Clearly knowing how knockback works in Minecraft PvP can help you understand why certain things work and some things don't. Knockback works like this. Whenever you get hit, the game adds a fixed amount of velocity to your current movement, pushing you backward. This added velocity doesn't change, it's always the same per hit. However, the total knockback you take depends on how much velocity you already had before getting hit. If you're sprinting, jumping, or falling, you already have momentum, so the knockback stacks on top of that. I'll use a simple chart to explain it in the simplest way. You see, knockback is added onto your current velocity, so that's why jump resetting and hit selecting work so well, because they maximize your momentum over your opponent. Jump resetting is a core mechanic in Bedrock PvP that can dramatically change the outcome of trades. And even though it's been around for ages, most people still only know the very shallow basics on how to actually perform different types of reducing methods. To perform a jump reset just before the second hit happens or the moment your feet are just about to touch the ground, press jump. This exact timing will soften the knockback because the game registers your momentum as the start of a sprint jump, adding velocity on top of that movement. Jumping at the point of landing is what we call a jump reset. Make sure that you're holding W while performing a jump reset, or sprinting forward, whatever device you're on. Hitting your opponent right after the jump reset should be what you're trying to do. To make your resets even more consistent, use movements like W tapping or S tapping just before landing to control your distance. This creates more space between you and your opponent, helping you outreach them. Avoid sprint jumping unless you're following up aggressively when your opponent is running, since it adds forward velocity that can interfere with timing. But jump resetting isn't the only reducing method. Remember, a key thing is a jump reset will not work if you are not on the ground. Also, I'm trying to hit 15,000 subscribers, so a sub will be greatly appreciated. Back to the video. Hit selecting is one of the most underutilized mechanics in high-level Bedrock PvP. Despite its massive impact, it's more than just hitting second. It's about mastering timing, momentum, and spacing. A hit select occurs when you intentionally delay your hit so that your opponent strikes you first. This means you begin to descend earlier, meaning you land sooner, reset faster, and are able to re-engage with a jump reset before your opponent. Their sprint is cut short by their own hit, while yours continues until you hit, giving you the momentum advantage. To perform a basic hit select, let your opponent hit first. Then hit back immediately as you hear or see the hit land. Follow up with a jump reset to initiate a pickup. This creates a situation where you're grounded and stable while they're in the air and vulnerable. Advanced hit selects take this concept further. You don't always need to hit second, you just need to hit shortly after your opponent. A common advanced technique that I use is to start with a 3-block hit to stay out of their melee range. This is best against people that time click and hit select loads, as they don't usually try to get the first hit. They try to hit select. This only works if your opponent delayed their hit by too much. You see, if they don't hit you back as soon as they hear the sound, strafe in and time your second hit just after theirs. Pairing this with a jump reset or counter-strafe often results in a guaranteed pickup. Also, late hits are especially powerful when both players are trading. By slightly delaying your hit, you gain vertical control and can reset more effectively. However, wait too long and you risk getting comboed. This technique works best when combined with long-range hits and evasive movement. These are some tips for hit selecting. Hit selecting only works if both players hit at the same time after the delayed hit. Strafing into a hit select can be very overpowered, normally helping you get closer to your opponent, giving you more of a momentum advantage. Counter-strafing. Counter-strafing is one of the most important techniques in Bedrock PvP. While strafing is all about unpredictability and dodging hits, counter-strafing takes it a step further. It's about breaking your opponent's rhythm and disrupting their movement mid-trade. At its core, counter-strafing relies on directional manipulation, suddenly switching your movement from one side to the other at the perfect moment. Since most players aim by prediction and rhythm, they tend to track where you're going based on your last few movements. By sharply switching directions just before or after taking a hit, you cause them to miss their follow-up or delay their hit timing, giving you a small window to reset or land your own counterattack. This is especially effective during close-range fights, where most players rely on muscle memory rather than visual tracking. The thing is, it's not just good for movement though. By reversing your strafe direction right as you're hit, you can reduce the efficiency of the knockback your opponent applies to you. Instead of stacking cleanly with your movement, your knockback gets spread, partially concealed due to the directional conflict. This slows you down just enough to land faster, reset sooner, and position for a jump reset or pickup, all while disrupting their tracking. Alternatively, if you counter-strafe just before the hit lands, you often cause your opponent to miss entirely. Since most players predict your position based on your current strafe direction, this is why top players don't just move randomly, they choose precise timings to break aim patterns, especially when they expect to lose a trade. So, while you can counter-strafe at any point in a fight, doing it as or right after your hit is often the most valuable. Combine it with a jump reset, delayed hit or spacing tap. The better your hit registration is, the less time the player you are fighting will leave the hit cooldown. This is an example of bad hit reg. The time in between the red is very long, but this is almost perfect hit reg, where I'm hitting so basically the player is always red. This is how to get perfect hit reg. Clicking a multiple of 2 helps you get better hit reg, because it aligns better with the server's tick rate. Try not to spam click 6 to 7. Use methods like time clicking. This is amazing for hit reg if you can master it. And also drag clicking is incredible because of the amount of CPS you can click. And also butterfly and jitter are really consistent. Ping affects how fast the server processes your hit. So this means being on super low ping makes having good hit reg very easy. But if you're on super high ping, that's inconsistent. It makes it very hard to master your hit reg. I'm making a video on this, so I'll clear ping up then. Precision in aiming is vital. If you're going for the first hit, aim at the neck or upper chest. This increases your chance of landing the hit cleanly and increasing your hit registration. During trades or when jump resetting, aim lower around the legs or feet. Aiming low in these circumstances improves your reach consistency, jump resetting, and also hit reg. If your enemy is already in the air, keep aiming at their feet to avoid missing hits entirely. The most common and reliable pickup reset method is the hit select. If you think you're going to be hit, or are going to walk into the opponent's reach, you perform a hit select while you are comboing them. Timing your hit so you hit directly after you get hit will mean that you can keep the combo, but if they hit you right after, you will lose the combo.